identifying your entrepreneurial spark, building a winning business model, pitching your vision, building structures, getting funding for your business, building your team, and then the roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship. Who is an entrepreneur? Who is an entrepreneur? Let me hear from you. Who is an entrepreneur?
Okay, just give it a try.
Just try.
Just try.
Doesn't have to be a text definition.
I think someone who has their personal business line, like someone who does something like a handwork for themselves.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Who else? All right. Where's the second mic?
An entrepreneur is a person who starts up an organization and who control a business.
I think as an entrepreneur is someone who identifies opportunity and then finds solution to it.
Identifies opportunity and gets solution to it.
To me, an entrepreneur is someone who can harness the 4 factors of production and business. That is land, labor, and capital.
Wow, you're amazing. Amazing. All right. Any more? Okay, beautiful definitions we all have here. And it's not far from what and who an entrepreneur is. So, for us here, an entrepreneur is an individual who creates and does what? Manages a business. As we go further, we'll understand why this definition. So, what are the characteristics of an entrepreneur? First, they are innovative and creative. They see opportunities where others don't and are willing to take what? Risk on new ideas, like he said. They see opportunities. I'm here today. Opportunities are everywhere. We have a friend of ours who is close to us. In fact, jokingly, we talk about him all the time. This man is like he's a wealth of ideas. You know him, Pharmacist Isaac. In fact, I saw a post he made yesterday. He was selling lab coats. He put it on his social media. There's no kind of thing that this man has not tried. And the kind of things he brings out are things like, oh, really? Can we do this thing? There was a time he started a business and he called it corporate barbers, right? What was he doing? Barbing shop. But the way he called it, the way he packaged it, you wouldn't have imagined. And he started that thing when he was a student in the university. So most times entrepreneurs do what? See opportunities where others don't, and they are what? Willing to take the risk on new ideas. They are passionate and driven. They strongly believe in their ideas and are determined to make it successful. Another characteristic is that they are resourceful and adaptable. They can find creative solutions to problems and then adjust their plans as needed. They don't just think one way. They are open to flexible options. So if something comes up, how do we tweak our plan? For some persons, when things don't go as they plan, they're already off. You've lost them. But that's not for the entrepreneur. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you must be what? Resourceful, and you must be what? Adaptable. And then they have strong work ethics. They are willing to put in the long hours and hard work necessary to get their business off the ground. If you are this kind of person who sleep is your best companion, all those people that if I don't sleep, my head used to do me. It's not for the entrepreneur. Even up to yesterday night, I and my husband were still awake up till 1 a.m. trying to put our acts together. And then by as early as 6, in fact, we still even had to wake up in the night to pray. And as early as 6 this morning, we're already up to prepare for the meeting. And here we are. But if you're that kind of person that life has to just happen in pleasant places, like the Bible says, it doesn't work for you as an entrepreneur. You will work long hours. You will put in the hard work to make sure things happen. I was listening to Dangote, a video he did, and he said he thinks he spends more time solving problems in his business than the time he takes to do other things. That's the life of an entrepreneur, because things keep happening. Opportunities keep coming up. How do you take advantage of those opportunities to make something substantial out of it is what we're looking at. Now, not all business owners are entrepreneurs. you can find a business. You can buy a business. For instance, an opportunity comes up and oh, okay, we can put money into this thing and buy this business, and then you become a business owner. Or you just you find something like, okay, you're employed to manage a business. In that instance, you own that business and you're running it. It's different from being an entrepreneur. Most often, entrepreneurs are persons who find solutions to problem. We identify a problem, we find solutions to it, and then we go the long run to build a structure out of this thing. So if you remember our earlier definition, we say there are individuals who do what? Create and manage a business. So it's not about your skill or your talent or what I can do, but what system or ecosystem are you creating out of that idea? That is what makes you an entrepreneur. So looking at the self-employed versus the entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur is one who does what? Creates and does what? Builds a business. But for the self-employed person, what they prioritize is delivering their skills, expertise, or product. So I'm a graphic designer, or I'm an accountant. Even I'm an accountant. I just want to render my service and then move on. In that instance, I don't categorize myself as an entrepreneur, because what I do kind of depends on me to be able to deliver that service. If you're in that kind of category, you are self-employed. But if you're an entrepreneur, I'm an accountant, but I've been able to create a system that can deliver this accounting service regardless of my person. So whether I am there or not, that thing needs to happen. That is what makes me an entrepreneur. I'm a graphic designer, even though I'm skillful in graphic designing. But what makes me an entrepreneur is how I've been able to merge my graphic designing skill to be able to build a business. So it's not just about me, it's an ecosystem I've created. There are people, there are systems, there are structures that makes that thing sellable in the market. That's what makes the fundamental difference between being self-employed and being what? An entrepreneur. So for the entrepreneur, he thrives on innovation and growth. I just want to think outside the box. What can I do differently? How do I render this thing differently that makes it appealing to the population or to whoever I'm selling this thing to? But for the self-employed, just a steady state. Let's just go. I'm not under pressure. I want you to deliver on a certain activity. You take your time. Whether you do it well or you don't do it well, it's not your business. Whether you're keeping to time or you're not keeping to time. But for the entrepreneur, if you oftentimes observe them, it's different, because they are strong on their commitment. Your word is your bond. You want to be able to deliver that excellent service because you are trying to create a brand, a name, an image that would outlive you. Then for the entrepreneur, they embrace significant risk. But for the self-employed, let's just take our risk level moderately. And an investor comes to pitch to you and like, okay, what's your business? Oh, it's a fantastic business. Do you think I can invest my money in your business for a stake? For the entrepreneur, he will grab it with all arms. But for the self-employed, this guy, I'm going to dilute my ownership. This business is no longer going to be mine. So does it mean that all the profits I'm going to be earning in this business will split it between this person? No, please. This is my family business. I want to run it so that my children will come and see the business. You can see the mindset. There are two different mindsets. So it's just for us to also look back and determine where we are in this field, because so many people think they are entrepreneurs, but what they are really is that they are self-employed, because they are not open to what entrepreneurship means and what it offers. So if you are looking, and it depends on your goal, like I said earlier, not everybody will be what? Entrepreneurs. Maybe your skill, your strength does not extend to the capacity of building an enterprise. You can stay here, it's fine. But you know that whatever decision you make, you stick with the gains and the losses of that decision. So look inside and determine for yourself. But if you know inside of you that what you want to do as a career is enterprise or being an entrepreneur, you know that in your mind you need to be able to shift from what this offers to what the entrepreneur has to offer. So let's look at this. This is a techie, I call him the techie whiz. He loves coding, creating new gadgets. He likes to try new things. So for him, could you think, you know, for the techie guy, could you develop friendly apps to solve a common problem or cater to a specific niche? So what we are trying to do here is to just think about the skills that you have as individuals. You know, we have different things, different skills that we possess. So what are those things that you have as skills that you could start with and build on that to be able to transit from just owning a skill to becoming an entrepreneur? So I love coding, I love doing gadgets, I love creating things. What do you think you can create out of that thing to be able to build an enterprise? So that, like I said earlier, it's not just about what you now have to start thinking. So let's even think about the guys who created Bolt, for instance. We all know the Bolt ride, right? It was somebody that sat down and thought about it. But look at the Bolt business now. Is it just about the person who created it? It has already created an ecosystem that so many persons are benefiting from it. But it started with what? An idea. It probably started with a skill. It probably started with, oh, I can develop apps. From developing apps, oh, I can create a business around this. So most times we have skills that can actually translate into creating an enterprise for us. So look deep inside. The reason why I'm bringing it out is to also help you do some reflection. Because once we are done with this session now, every one of us, we're going to take our pen and paper and then write out some things. We're going to do an exercise. So you probably might have a skill, right? But it doesn't have to end with that skill. What can you do with the ideas that you have? What can you do? Some of us have beautiful ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But it's all at the stage of I want to. So how do we build on what we have? So let's look at the culinary cook. I love to cook, for instance, me. In fact, my husband tells me that the next best thing I do to accounting is cooking. And he thinks I should probably make a business out of it. I'm still coming and something will happen there. You know, I love to cook. So you could be like me. You like to cook. Look at Hilda Baci, right? What did she do with her cooking? Cookathon. But what is she doing with her cooking? Is it the skill she has now, is it about her? It's not about her. You need to sometimes, go back and look at her post she makes. That lady has a thriving business. The recent one she did recently was to do a training session. Online training session on cooking. Who would imagine that will happen? For us, cooking has to be physical. If I'm going to teach you how to cook, you have to be there. We have to be present. And then we do the practical, I show you. But she did an online cooking, and you don't want to know the number of persons that registered for that thing. Innovation. Innovative thinking. So you can have skills, you can have ideas. How do you marry those things to be able to build something out of it is what we are talking about. Look at this example, the Eco Warrior. Sustainability, ecosystem. Some of us like anything that has to do with green, How do you build a business out of sustainability? I know somebody who renders advisory consulting based on sustainability, and that person is doing so well. So he has taken a skill that he has and has done what? Built a business around it. So there are so many ideas that we have, I'm sure if we open our minds now, we start sharing ideas, we can fill up our bank with ideas that we have. But it's beyond having an idea. How do you expand? How do you start up that spark and build something out of it is what we need to talk about. So for us here now is we need to move beyond having ideas to turning our ideas into what? Profit. And I call it TIP or TIP. So imagine you have a talent for social media marketing. So can you combine this skill? This microphone is seizing. Is it because of the location? So can you combine this skill with your love for fitness and launch an online coaching program that engages workout videos and personalized plans? So this is somebody who has skill for fitness, right? But it's beyond the skill I have. So in turning this into profit, I've been able to match my skill with a structured process that can help me market that skill. So now I'm doing online videos. So you don't have to come to meet me physically. All you need to do is watch my videos, probably subscribe to my channel or pay for a program. And you know that everybody is conscious about their health right now. They want to, subscribe to fitness program, fitness plans and all that. So if you're in that category, you know that it's not just about the skill you have, but how will I turn this idea or this skill I have and make a profit out of it? So we need to understand that passion is great, but your passion doesn't have to be your only focus. You can be passionate about something, you can be very skillful about it, but that's not the focus. How do we turn what we have to make resources out of it? So combining your skills and passion is the goal. So what are the things we need to do? First, we need to identify our unique skill sets and interests. So now we are trying to harvest those ideas, match our ideas with match our skills with our passion to create a business out of it. So first, list your passions. What activities bring you joy and a sense of fulfillment? Do you love creating? Do you love art? Do you love writing? Do you love telling stories? It means that you're good for public speaking, right? Do you like solving problems? Do you like helping others? Some people, out of the need to help people solve problems, have created a business out of it. We know there are some businesses that, maybe as busy as I am as an entrepreneur or a working class mom, I don't have time to probably do market runs or run around. There are people who have created a business out of it. Don't worry, we'll take care of your errands. They call them what? Errand girls or errand boys. It's a thriving business in Lagos. And I think even in Abuja too, that's somebody sitting down and thinking, what can I do with my skill? Or what can I do with my passion? So after you've listed your passions, you do what? Identify your skills. Reflect on your natural talents and abilities. Are you analytical, creative, organized, persuasive, or a great communicator? So if you have been able to list your passion, identify your skills, then you now also look at work experiences. What previous job, volunteer work, or academic projects have you undertook? What skills did you excel at? What did you enjoy most about those experiences? These things are just to help you do a self-inventory of yourself. So that it's not just about being skillful, but like I said, how do you match your passion with your skills to create a business out of it? So I can be passionate about something, I can be skillful about it, but I need to be able to marry these two to be able to create a business around it. So by the time we've done all this listing, we're able to come up with a pool of ideas. Okay, I'm good at writing. So who do I want to write to? So in writing, are there people who don't have time to write? Can I bring that proposition to them to say, okay, I can offer this to you at a price? It becomes a business. And then from there, you now think about creating structures around it. So first thing we need to do is to do what? A self-inventory. The next thing we are looking at is to look at your strengths and weaknesses. You can be very skillful, but there are certain things that limits you that now beclouds your skill. For instance, let me say you're a graphic designer, right? You're a graphic designer, but you are poor at managing time. that's a very big weakness that can affect you in this entrepreneurial business, because you won't go far. People can like your job for what you do, but you will not get a repeat patronage because you are not good at managing time. So you need to sit down and do an analysis, like a SWOT analysis of yourself. List your top 5 strengths. You can even use a strength finder tool. There are a number of it online that can just help you access your tool to tell you who you are. They ask you certain questions, you're able to answer them, and then you find it. So just describe situations where you excelled. Then identify 2 areas you can improve on, and then how can you mitigate these weaknesses or turn them into strengths for your business. Because it's very important that you have a complete picture. So you are not just skillful in something, but your attitude is very poor. You won't make a good business owner. You can't grow an enterprise with that kind of thing. So you really need to sit down and do like a self-inventory, do like a self-check and check, so that you're able to match your skills with your strengths, match your skills with your weaknesses, and see how you can turn those weaknesses into strengths. So that with that, you are able to stay accountable to yourself first, or even build accountability systems around you, so that when you know you're derailing, somebody's there to say, hey, why are you behaving like this? Why are you doing this? So that you can come back. Because this journey is a long journey. It's not something you can do with certain habits that are dragging you down. For instance, a client needs you to turn out something very quickly, and he wants it done, without errors. But you're not somebody who pays attention to details. You just like to do things shabbily and move on. But you're good at what you do. You won't survive the marketplace, because with time, people will get tired of you. And remember, you are looking at growing a business. So it's not about you, right? So you need to be able to create systems, create processes, create structures around you. Judging from my experience, one of the things I sat down to do last year, very deliberately, was that I decided to build certain structures around my business. So as deliberate as sitting down to define roles and responsibilities for, not even roles and responsibilities, to define processes for certain activities that we do in our organization. Because I realized that most times I'm always spending time explaining to people over and over again what they need to do. I give you a task to do. You do it this month, and maybe 2 months down the line, that same task comes around again, and we have to do that thing. And I have to explain the process to you every time. I don't have that time, because I'm busy doing so many things at the same time. So what I took my time to do was to write out processes for every activity we carry out in the organization. And I didn't even do it alone. I sat down with my team members. I said, okay, now that you're carrying out this task, list out all the processes you need to carry out in executing this task. When they are done, we sit down, we review it together. If it's okay, we approve it, and then we save it as a process manual for that activity. That thing had improved our productivity greatly. Right now, if they need to carry out that same task, nobody is coming to ask me, Ma, what do we do? How do I go about that thing? You don't know how frustrating that question can be. Sometimes it just puts you off, because you're like, can't you think? Do you have to ask every time? Do you understand? So in doing that, we've been able to eliminate the time we spend around trying to explain the whole process. Even if you come into the organization now, once we give you that process, you can read through and then run through with the work. So that's to say that as you build businesses, you must learn to build structures, learn to build processes, so that people can work with it and also run with it. So we looked at what earlier? What was the first thing we looked at? In identifying your unique skill set, what was the first thing? Thank you. Do a what? Self-inventory. You need to identify what? List your passion. Identify your skills. What is your work experience? And then see how you can marry that to be able to identify where your interest lies. The second thing we need to do is to do what? Look at your what? Strengths and weaknesses. You need to analyze your strengths and weaknesses, and then look for how you can strengthen those strengths, if there's anything like that, and the weaknesses, turn them into what? Strengths. Next thing is that we also need to do a value assessment. What core values are important to you as an individual? If you look at your core values, am I passionate on delivering my activity professionally? Am I bent on integrity? See, when it comes to cutting corners, I'm not there. You know, you need to identify your core values. So those could be an area where you can actually generate interest or ideas that you can actually turn into profit. You can also look at it, is it honesty? Are you bent on creativity or sustainability? Those things can help you identify your unique skill set. Next is also what drives you, what motivates you. Is it independence? Is it a desire to make a difference? Financial security, or the challenge of building something from the scratch? These are things that can help you identify what your skill sets are. Then one of the things you also need to do very importantly is that you need to create a matrix with your skills on one axis and your interest on the other. Then once you are done, you fill the boxes with ideas of how your skills can be applied within your area of interest, because what you might have interest in can sometimes be very different from the skills that you have. You know, I might be interested in football, but I might not know how to play football, right? But that does not mean that there's no business around football. There can be a business idea that is around football, but I'm not a footballer. I don't have the skills to play football. So doing that matrix can just help you to generate ideas. Even though I am not a footballer, that does not close up the opportunities that are around football. There's something that might be there for me. So you need to be able to list those things so that through that you are able to generate ideas. The goal for us is to do what? Generate what? Ideas. Spark those ideas that we can turn into profit. So in beyond having the idea, we also know that when you want to sell your idea, you are selling it to what? Your marketplace. You're selling your ideas to where? The marketplace. So, and first you also need to do an assessment of the market. What are the needs in the market? Remember, we're looking at what? Ideas. How do we turn ideas into profit? So we also need to look at our market needs. Let's look local. What are the needs or challenges in your local community? Are there any challenges that you need to address? Look around your area. That place where you're staying. Are there challenges in that area that you think you can need? That could be a source of what? Idea. Sometimes we are thinking far. We are looking for global business, or we are looking for how to solve a solution in Maraba. Meanwhile, you are in Gerki and there's a problem in Gerki. Not even address that need. So sometimes you need to do what? Think local. Even though we are also advocating that everybody goes global, but you've not even started from the small part that you are. So start from your Jerusalem. Let's look at our immediate environment. Are there challenges in your local community that you think you can solve? Next thing is that we're also looking at industry trends. Are there any unmet needs or emerging markets your businesses could cater to? It could be an idea for accessing market needs. Then, what are customer pain points? What frustration or inconveniences do you encounter in your daily life? Some of us go around and then you are very frustrated. Take for instance, maybe the transport system in Nigeria. Imagine where you have to hop from one bus to the other, or one taxi to the other. You probably want to pay, you don't have cash to pay. You know that people have, through these kind of things, developed solutions that everybody is benefiting from. It was through these things that the idea of boats came about. Like, I can actually move from one point to the other. I'm not bothered that I don't have cash, because I know even through that, even if I take a boat and I get to my destination, I can do a transfer, or the money can even be taken up front from my account before I get to my destinations. So looking at your pain points, looking at your frustrations or inconveniences can be a source of what? Idea, where you can mine ideas. Next is also to look at social listening. Explore social media platforms and forums to understand what people are talking about. through those small conversations, an idea can actually spark up that can become a source of business for you. Another area is to also do a competitor analysis. Look at your potential competitors. This, I have an idea, I have a passion in interior designs, for instance. And I know people who are in that same industry who are thriving. What are they doing differently? So sometimes it's not just about me, because there's somehow to say, it's not like anybody is doing something different from what has not been done before. It's just that sometimes people take what somebody has done, think through it, remodel it, and bring it out as if it's something new. That's where innovation comes to play. So it's not a bad thing to say, I'm looking into what my competitors are doing to glean ideas. You can just pick something different and then run with it. So that could be a source of data for you to be able to generate ideas for your business. Next thing is to keep your eyes peeled, pay attention to daily activities, and identify areas where existing products or services could be improved. So sometimes most of us just walk around blindly without keeping our minds open. You know, we've gone to certain areas, like, I'm sure you'd have even encountered it. You go to a particular area and you're trying to ask around that area, hey, I want to go to a church. Probably this is even a popular church around that area. And you meet somebody who stays in that environment and you're asking him, do you know this church? And the person will be like, I don't know. Meanwhile, that person is in that axis. It means that that person does not pay attention to what's happening around him. That kind of person will probably be sitting in a gold mine of opportunities and will not know that opportunities are there. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to run a business, you must have an open mind. Don't keep a closed mind. That's why it says you must do what? Keep your eyes peeled. Everywhere you are, everywhere you go, keep an open mind. What opportunities can I find in this area? People are having conversations because it is not politics, or because it is not football, or because it is not movies. You just, it's not my business, and then you just walk off. It's a very bad attitude to keep. So we need to have that attention-seeking mind, and it's something you can build. It's not something that, you know, they teach people, or you go to school and they teach in the 4 walls of university. But as you advance in this business, you now know that, hey, paying attention to certain things really pays. Because it's through this that people have been able to grab opportunities, and then it just turns everything around for them. So keep your eyes peeled. Then talk to people. Ask them about their experiences and challenges. What products or services do they wish have existed? Through those things, you can actually gain ideas that you can use to build a business. So there are opportunities everywhere, so much opportunities. But like I said earlier, the reason why we are not maximizing it is that we are not taking the time to do the grinding, to do the building, to scratch that inner pot to be able to generate ideas. So right now we're going to do an exercise, and we're going to brainstorm innovative business ideas that has market potentials. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to take your pen and paper, and let's do the what if game. Think of an existing product or service you use regularly. Think of an existing product or service you use regularly, and then ask yourself, what if it could be more efficient? So while you're doing that, just sketch your ideas. It can be anything. You can draw, you can write, just think about it. But think of an existing product or service you use. What if it could be more efficient? What if it could be more affordable? What if it could be more catered to a specific niche? You know, I'm using a product. Why didn't they design this thing to be able to meet, you know, a particular group of people? Can you identify potential improvements or innovative ways to reinvent the product or service? We have 5 minutes. Let's just scratch through. Think about it. It can be anything. You know, what kind of product or service do you use? Do you think it can be more efficient? Do you think it can be more affordable? I want you to write out something. Don't be afraid to draw. You can diagram, you can write it down, anything that comes to your mind. The goal for us is to visually represent your business concept and capture the essence of your ideas. So we want to see those ideas that you can generate from those things. So the goal for us is that if it could be more efficient, it means that this product or this service can be delivered in another form, right? So it means that it becomes a hub of idea that I can explore. Somebody might be doing it. For instance, let me just say crayfish. People sell crayfish, right? Crayfish comes in its form, in the raw form, the local form. So, and this is how this person sells this crayfish. But what if I take that crayfish and I blend it into powder, I package it in a very friendly mode, and then I sell it to you? I've taken off the stress of you thinking about how to grind it, where to keep it, will it be in good shape? But I've given you value, right? Somebody else will sell that crayfish as raw as it is, but I've gone the extra mile to see that I blend it, I package it, and I bring it to your doorstep instead of you getting to look for me, right? So those are the things we're talking about. So just write out something. Have you written it? So do you have something to share with us? All right.
All right. I'm not sure if I followed the order, but yes, so I was thinking about laundry service, right? Could it be more efficient? Yes, it can be. Most times there's always issues of having to take your laundry, but you don't have the time to do that. So can we come up with a structure of pickup, just as you suggested with the crayfish? Pick up and drop off. Can it be more affordable? So if someone is going to pick it up, that means service charge will be included, and that makes it expensive. So if it's more affordable, then we can do like a self-service 24-hour, right, laundry mart. Then potential improvements or innovative ways. So we can do, I thought about the disadvantage of having a 24-hour laundry mart. I don't know if we have one here in Abuja, but if we have one, then it has the risk of having women in there at night with men too as well. So you do like a male 24-hour laundry and you do a female 24-hour laundry, and that's it.
Please, can we put our hands together for her? That's beautiful. So you see that we've been able to make you think, right? You probably did not think about this before, but it's also a viable business idea you could explore. Did you hear that? All right, so who's going to go next? All right, okay, good.
Actually, the opportunity here is that I hooked at number one. Because, okay, the first thing, when I saw, think of an existing product I used to use regularly, the first thing that came to my mind is data. All right, looking at how much I spend almost every week on data is very scary. So, but when I went to the second one, what if it could be more efficient? You know, the way the thing is, there is nothing control about it, except if you want to go into, so somebody else should try.
But remember, we are trying to generate business ideas. So if data is a pain point to you, what business can I create around it? So I use a lot of data, and it looks like I spend a lot of money. So does it mean that for me to be spending a lot of money, you know that it means there's something inside.
Yeah.
So what can I do about this? Is there a business I can create out of this thing that is a pain to me? Yeah. That's what we are looking at, so that we can use that to harvest ideas that we can use to run a business. Oh. He's raising his hands. Let's give him the mic. Oh, I thought you were raising your hands. Okay. Yeah, okay.
About the data idea. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking if you use too much data, what if you could have like a network of people? So like there's something that my sister does. She buys data, then she shares to all of us. Okay. So it could be something like that. So you could actually start a business like that, probably like among students. So because the more you buy, the less it is. Yes. So you can just like buy something huge, then everyone like gets their own kind of thing.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so you get the idea. So the idea for us is, if this thing is a pain to me, can it be a forum where I can generate a business idea out of it? And she just gave us a beautiful example at that. Please let him have the mic.
My idea is we have husbands complain a lot that their wives spend a lot of time. Is that mic on? Okay, we have husbands complain a lot that their wives spend a lot of time at the salon. Okay. So what if I could create a mobile salon? Like we have mobile kitchen, people order food, or you just walk in while the car is moving and eat. If we can drive the car to your home, you have the same experience that you can feel at the salon. That can be possible. You know your wife is at home. It's not as if she's going somewhere else while she's saying she's going to salon.
Exactly.
The challenge there is in what you just said is he's trying to address the wait time, the time spent in the salon. But bringing the mobile salon to the office, will it reduce the wait time? That's the problem there. Does it solve any problem there?
Yeah. There are people who, are very concerned about their time. So my service is not for everybody. It's for some people. Maybe people who love luxury too, and they don't want to go and wait where many people are gathered. I could just come, order me, I come to your abode.
But people like the market you're talking about right now, those kind of people don't really wait. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like those kind of people don't really go to salons and wait. They are kind of people that enter a salon, they get their hair done and they move. Like they don't wait, they don't queue.
We didn't hear that. What did you say? What did she say?
So this is an idea, and we are sharing right now on the pros and the cons. Yeah. So I'm going to pick from this person, but the service is not for everybody.
Yes.
Many people are still going. They want them alone, even if they're not going to waste time. Why can't you come to my house and treat me? I don't want to step out. I want you to come to me.
Yeah. And remember that you are also building a structure around it. It's not a service you can walk on the street and pick out. But I've been able to build a business such that if you want this service, you will meet me, not me per se, but you're going to come to my business to patronize that business. So it looks like a personalized service, but we are building a business structure out of it, because of course you're not going to do it for free. And you know that for you to get that kind of service, it means you are willing to pay the extra to get that value from that service. So the idea for us, and like he said, there is no idea that is a perfect idea. It will have its pros, it will have its cons. It might be very beautiful, like she was analyzing her business, okay, but there will be so many buts in your business until you get to that final conclusion where you say, okay, I missed so many busts, this is a comfortable place, I'm ready to take the risk, I'm ready to take the reward. That's where it gets to. All right, do we have any more? We can proceed. So you can see that it really takes work to be able to generate that idea and to build a business. So it's not something you sit. And this exercise was just to help us open our eyes to see that building a business takes work. generating those ideas also takes work. We need to really look deep inside and then keep thinking, keep drilling, keep thinking, keep drilling until you get to that state where you know that, okay, I'm ready to launch out, and then you can now move on. So there are so many ideas, I just listed this out as business ideas that we could explore. So like low investment ideas, this focuses on skills and expertise. So you could look at freelance consulting, virtual assistant services. There's the online coaching or tutoring. There's home-based businesses. You could turn a creative skill like baking, crafting, soap making into product-based businesses you can run from home. You can also do social media management. Help businesses manage their social media presence, creating engaging content and growing their online audience. We know that this is a very good market. There are so many people who are good at this that are making good money. And most times you have to pay them on a monthly basis. It's like a retainer business. So it's not just even one cash cow that you get your money and move on. You get sustainable income out of it. So there are so many business ideas. You could also, and the thing with the low business ideas is that you really don't need so much to start. I can do this business from my home. Probably I just need, even getting a laptop might be extra. With my phone and data, that's all I need. I don't need an office, I don't need an assistant. I can do it. So that's why the focus is on what? Skills and expertise. The reason why it's low investment is because it requires low capital, but there are good ideas that you can build a business from. Then moderate investment ideas, you could look at e-commerce stores, right? Sell physical or digital products online through a user-friendly website or online marketplace. The last time we had a business session like this, we had a lady from Tiara brand, right? Remember, how many of us were here then? I'm not sure. Okay, a few of us were here. The lady sells hairs. She does more business selling online than even through her physical stores. Most of the persons who have bought from her saw her through her online presence, So you could have an e-commerce store where you sell. You can also develop apps. You can do a local food truck. You can go into cleaning service. There's also landscaping or gardening service. So there's just a whole lot. This is moderate investment because you might require a bit of capital, you might require a bit of resources. In some instances, you might even require a location. So you might need to rent a shop and all that. Then you also have higher investment ideas. So you want to open a restaurant or a bar. You're looking at a fitness studio or gym, a franchise business. Look at a business, it's a good idea. You take, try to sell that business like Coca-Cola. It's more of a franchise business. So if you say I want to sell Coca-Cola products, for instance, you can go into a franchise partnership and sell Coca-Cola products. Then you can do manufacturing or production. Then you can look at a technology startup. But the truth is, there are so many ideas. This is just like, I just picked a few. But there are so many things we can turn, we can generate ideas from and turn into business. So very quickly, we'll look at building the business model, because so many of us we are enthusiastic, we have passion, we have skill, but we don't know that in building a business, it takes a process, and then there are structures around it. So you don't just jump up with your passion and then you start running. We've had encounters with people. In fact, I've seen so many persons. Oh, I have this beautiful idea. I sell a particular skill or a product to somebody, and I'm like, oh, okay, I want to patronize you. We've done the business, and then I say, send me your account number, and then you are sending me your account number as Timothy Philemon, Amanti Philemon. And I'm like, and then you keep, not even OPay, it's even the name. And then the way you branded the business, Amanti Enterprise and Co. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, send me your account number, and I'm saying Amanti Philemon. And I'm like, I was expecting to see Amanti Enterprise. So that just tells me that you don't have a registered business. And that's very wrong. Because nobody is going to do business, nobody is going to do serious business with you using your name. Nobody will do that. So if you really want to grow a business, you must go through the process of building a business. So what I did here was just to pick out salient things we need to pay attention to when we are talking about building a business. So the first thing we are looking at is your customer segments. Who are you serving? You need to identify your target audience. He made a statement. He said, this business is not for everybody. Your business is not to serve, we have a write-up in the office. He said, you are not jollof rice. You cannot make everybody happy. You are not jollof rice. So know where your niche is, know where your market is, know who your customers are. When you've identified your customers, you will not be hopping here and there. If you find somebody who is not your customer, you will know. You will not spend time marketing somebody who is not your customer. Do you understand? So you must sit down and do the work. Ask yourself, who are my customers? Clearly define your target audience. Secondly, you must define your value proposition. What problems are you solving? What value do you deliver? As an entrepreneur, you must solve problems. You must solve problems. If your solution is not solving problems, you won't go far. You might just do that instant flash sale and then you just move on. But if it's not meeting a need, why do you think Dangote is making money from us over and over and over again? He's solving a problem. Who does not need salt in his food? Who does not need to eat spaghetti according to our people? Or who does not need cement? He's solving a housing problem. He's solving the stomach problem. So you must solve a problem. Understand what value you are bringing on board. If you're able to understand it, know that you are sitting on a gold mine. So what you need to do is now build structures around it to be able to sell. So know the value proposition you are bringing on board. Go down and ask yourself, what problem am I solving? If you don't know it, sit down and do the research. Do the work. Think about it. So that whenever you come out and you're going to make a pitch or a proposition about what your business is doing, what you should bring first as your first fruit is the problem you're solving. It's not about the product you're selling. It's not about the packaging. It's not about the branding. If you have a beautiful brand and package and it's not solving any problem, it will go nowhere. Do you understand? So sit down and ask yourself, what is my value proposition? Secondly, channels. How will you reach your customers? You must know that. Is it online? Is it physical? If my products are online, and then I now take the strength and energy to go and rent a shop, a physical shop, don't you know I've wasted money? You've wasted money because you really did not need that shop in the first place. So you must know the channel at which you need to do what? Reach your customers so that you don't waste your resources. Next, you also need to look at customer relationship. How will you build and maintain relationship with your customers? It's very important. So that you don't start a relationship and then you start asking yourself, why am I having so many heartbreak? Somebody comes to me, he loves me, tomorrow he doesn't love me again, he's gone. You are not building good relationships. You must build good customer relationship. And there's a way to doing it. It's not, you must build the skill. Do you understand? So if it means every day I wake up, the first thing I do is to greet my customer. Oh, good morning. Hope you have a nice day. And then you move on. Person knows that you are in his face. That's what works for him. You must know what works for your customers, and make sure that you keep that relationship. Because there are so many people who are offering the same thing you are doing. So it's the people who they see more in their faces that they remember. But if you are not in the faces of your customer, nobody will remember you. There are many things seeking for attention at the same time. But once you're there and they see you constantly, you know that you now become a reference point. In my earlier part of my business, there were times where I spent so much energy doing marketing, talking to people. I will make calls, I will do a whole lot. Most times those calls were not turning into businesses immediately. After a while, it started converting. But right now, I do less of marketing. I get more of referrals. Because when I deliver a service to you, I make sure I do it so well that you will remember me. And even after I've done the business, I still follow up on you. I don't just do the business. And so what I try to do is to build a relationship. I'm concerned about your business. How are you doing? How are you faring? Most times you even go down to being personal. How is your family? You now start having conversation, because you're not just coming to sell a product and then you run away. But there's that connection you have with that person, so that whenever they have that need, you will be top on their list. So this is very important. Build good customer relationship. The next thing you're going to look at is your revenue streams. How will you generate revenue? You know that we have beautiful businesses, right? Or business ideas. Wait until you want to sell that business. That is when you know that to get 10 naira out of the pocket of people is not beans. There are times that somebody wants me to do something. Let me just say as low as 10,000 naira. Maybe it's just, I'm just giving a simple example. The person will be like, 10,000. You mean 10,000? I can be speaking 10,000 naira for 2 weeks. And you're like, on top 10,000 naira. If it's not your money, it's not your money. If the alert has not transited from debit here to credit in your account, there is nothing that will happen. So you must ask yourself, how will I generate revenue? Because the goal of any profitable business is to do what? Generate revenue. If you're in business, you have good business idea, beautiful shop, well-looking staff, and money is not coming in every month, just know that you are set for doom. So this is a very key part of our business, and you must ask yourself and answer that question. Identify the ways your business will create financial value. Then next, you're also looking at key resources. What resources are essential for your business to function? So you are looking at human resource, material resource, having the right team, having the right people around you to be able to build that business. The materials you need to sell, they are all important. Where will I source it from? How will I source? How is it going to be sustainable? Most of us are in industries where we have to sell physical products. And you know that the issue of supply chain is a very critical issue that if you don't sit down and have a plan around it, your business will not go very far. So imagine if there's a surge in demand. Maybe you sell this fabric, right? And I like this fabric, and you come on social media, you do something very good, and then like 100 people are asking for this fabric at the same time. Do you have the strategy in place to be able to deliver these 100 fabrics to all the people asking for it immediately? If you can't meet that demand, know that you've lost that market, because those customers will never trust you again. If you like, come out tomorrow and show a very beautiful smile. In fact, the kind of comments you will see on your page, I'm sure you will take down that post, because they will like, in fact, I've even seen it oftentimes. There are some adverts you see like this, very nice adverts, and then just go to the comment section. They say, this one does not answer our question, so this one does not reply to his comments. And then once I see that, I'm off. I just move. I don't even bother to look. So the beautiful picture I saw would have just been an instant flash. I've moved. And there are so many people who are moving like that. So those customers who should have converted to a customer that would have generated revenue would have moved on, because you probably did not think through the process of your business. Supply chain is a very critical part of our business that we must put in perspective when we are building a business. Next, we are looking at key activities. What are the most important actions needed to make your business model work? So, do I need to start building an app? Do I need to start making inquiries on how I'll rent shop? Do I need to start connecting with my suppliers and distributors? That activities needs to start happening. I want to set up a structure around my business. Do I need an app? Do I need a phone? Do I need a laptop? Those activities, you need to ask yourself, what are the most important actions needed to make my business work? I must start it now. Then, your cost structure. What are the costs associated with running your business? You need to have that in mind, because some of us just start. We have ideas, we just start, and then you are now met with surprises along the road, and you're like, they did not inform me. They did not tell me that they used to pay AMAC dues, right? They did not tell me that when I rent my shop, I must pay withholding tax. And it now looks like a burden, or it just feels like they just threw it at you. Business comes with its own cost. You must sit down, and you might not be able to see it all, but at least have a fair idea of what it takes to start and run the business, so that you don't start a business, put in all your investments, and then your money is just stuck. You are not able to generate your capital back, and you're not even making profit on top of it. Then also look at key partners. Who are your key partners? It's important you build partnership, because most times you can't run it alone. You need people who have gone ahead, people who can advise you. Mr. Samson talked about it. He talked about having what? Mentors. He said even though he calls them, there was a word he used, he does senior colleagues who he has conversations with, because those people have a way of bringing perspective into what you want to do. They might not give you the solution, but just sitting down to have that conversation with them just gives you an idea of, it helps you to glean ideas on how to run your business. But it's important that you have what? Partners, because it will help your business in the long run. Then looking at pitching your vision. Your pitch is a chance to tell your business story. If I bring you to a room filled with children of, say, maybe 15 to 18 years, and I say, pitch your idea to these persons, do you think you can convince these children to buy your product or patronize